Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7 Mile Radio.
Warning.
All right, let's talk about it then.
Yes, because the thing is, peace. What up, though? Welcome to GoReal or Go Home on the 7 Mile Radio. 7 Mile Radio Network. You feel me? This is 1 hour of what is, and what will be. We have an amazing show here today because this is a historic show. This is an epic show. This is a one-of-a-kind, first-of-its-kind show. You feel me? So we happy that you all are here to see this, right? Mark is trying to get me in the right spot. I'm never in the right spot. I'm never talking into the right microphone. I've been doing this too long to make these type of mistakes.
Good,
but
right here, perfect, good.
Right, bet, right here, perfect. He said perfect. Damn it. That's a gold star right there. So today, we are, like Obama said, we are reaching across the aisle. We are being the change we want to see. Mm-hmm. Today, we have with us a sister who is also a pioneer when it comes to Juneteenth. She's going to tell us her story. We're going to get into how she got to where she is. Y'all know 7 Mile Radio, GoReal or Go Home, is the home of Juneteenth information, your official Juneteenth podcast, first of its kind. I be chasing firsts. I chase them, you know what I'm saying? Because I know it's going to be more of it and the more fish in the water, and they're going to muddy the waters, but we just always got to know we did it first. You feel me? So when we talk about people who did it first, who carved their own lane, did it their own way, we had to bring the sister Sharia Ayers on here, right? She is the chief organizer of the Juneteenth Jubilee, which takes place on the Avenue of Fashion. If you don't know, that is Livernois. If you don't know, that is pronounced Livernois. Right? And it's a whole history with that. You feel me? Yes, that's a man's name. It's a whole man's name.
Last name. I know every North and South Main Street in Detroit
Livernois.
is French last name.
Yeah, and DeQuinder is a man's name too. Yeah. Very specific men.
Greenfield and Evergreen.
Yes, and Groesbeck.
And Woodward.
Groesbeck family still lives in Michigan right now.
How about Gratiot?
7 Groesbecks, Gratiot.
Crash it, fool.
You feel me? Oh, I know what you said. I feel you. Listen, it's 7 Groesbeck family members working in MDLC right now. That street was named after a specific type of people, and that family has been working in MDLC for like 7 generations. So I'm not surprised they run through the state. You feel me? But that's a different type of history. We are excited to talk about the history of the future, right? We are making history and setting our future at the same time. And they're doing that on the Avenue of Fashion. Sister Sharia Ayers, thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having
She did
me.
not hesitate to the interview. And we need to make that a point because today's point of this is that Juneteenth is not a competition. First of all, it does not belong to any one person. It literally belongs to all of us, and that is what's so beautiful about it. Our ancestors who started this left this for us, and there's a way to capitalize on it. There's a way to do this right, and there's a way to do this where it's not so productive for you and your village. So we're going to talk about how she's done hers and what she's done with her village, because that's what this is. When you imagine what Juneteenth was when you were free and you decided, well, we want to celebrate Juneteenth, but you had to go to Galveston, right? So, because that's where you came from, right? So you got on your wagon or you walked, right? Because people don't understand. This is why the parade means so much to us, because we used to walk this country. If you wanted to go somewhere, you had to walk it, because if they seen your black self on a horse, somebody was going to take it from you. So they walked, and they came together and celebrated. And you got to imagine after so long, it's like, okay, do yours there because we can't keep coming, right? But the reason it's a week-long traditionally, and we're going to get to that, is because after you make that trip, you didn't walk to 4 days, bet on the back of a wagon for 2 days. You are not coming anywhere to celebrate for a day and go home, right? You are bringing tents. You are bringing the kids. You might end up moving here if it's work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is what it is. Villages come together, and that is what we're forming. And her village right now is on Livernois, and her entire network, her entire friends, family, everything. We about to dig into all of that because today this is about Juneteenth Jubilee. Let's go. How you doing? Introduce yourself to the people.
Well, hello. I am Sharia Ayers, and I am the founder and director for Juneteenth Jubilee Detroit. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here and happy that we are here in this space, you know. So thanks for having me, and I can give a little background about how Juneteenth Jubilee came about. You know?
Yes, let's first find out, because a lot of people say, well, I just heard somebody tell me yesterday, every year someone says, well, I never even heard about it. I never even knew about it. You know what I'm saying? So my question to you is, when was the first time you heard about it and the first time you celebrated it? Where were you?
So I had heard about Juneteenth years ago because my mom was very good with teaching me about who I am, where we come from, everything. And then not only that, I had gotten a minor in history because I love it. So I learned about Juneteenth. To be honest, I can't even put
Like, were you a
pinpoint.
teenager when you learned about it? Like, you were young?
Yeah, I was young.
Okay. So
It's
you
like
learned about
Black
it when you were
history
young.
was
So
just
that was
a part
of
of our
what you
everyday.
knew about us.
Right.
Okay, cool.
It was a part of my everyday, literally.
Right.
Like,
so when did you first celebrate it?
So the first time I celebrated it was when we started Juneteenth Jubilee Detroit in 2019. And that's when I had learned about you all, and, we met at the right or whatnot. But the thing is, the celebration, or the motivation for the celebration, came about, unfortunately, at a time my father was dying. And so my dad was very much so an advocate of being Black and Black culture as well. But nonetheless, my sister and I needed an escape just from watching my dad fight for his life for months.
Right.
So we wound up going out for St. Patrick's Day. And while out, we saw several Black people or African Americans or ADOs, whatever they identify as, out celebrating St. Patty's Day. Now, I'm not saying that, none of us can celebrate anything else, but it was kind of irritating. So I started venting to my sister, like, we got all these Black people out here celebrating St. Patrick's Day. They don't even know he's not even from Ireland. They don't know the history of the holiday.
Okay, so wait, let me stop right there. Had you celebrated St. Patty's Day before that day?
In this country.
Previously, had you celebrated?
We went to a white school, yes.
Right, okay. So this is the thing, though. You got to understand, when realness happens to you, right, you get real about things. So this wasn't just a normal St. Patty's Day for you. You were out trying to distract yourself
Correct.
from what was going on with your father. Life is happening really real for you.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what? This some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so you absorb this.
Right.
And you telling sis, like, look at us. Out here partying, wearing green shirts. Everybody got Lucky Charms on their head. That sounds like somebody that's going through shit. Like, everybody out here having what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, bet. Okay.
Yeah, so that was the thing, I'm like, we out here turn for St. Patty's Day, and I'm like, we do that for opening day, and we do that for Cinco de Mayo, and I'm just like, and I hate to say it, but most of our holidays have an oppressive history,
That's why I said we don't really know the history of a lot, and none of the stuff that why are we celebrating if we really knew the history of it?
I mean, my thing is, I'm not opposed to celebration, but I am opposed to just people not knowing. You get what I'm saying? Like, you should know the implications of what you're celebrating. I'm not saying don't, but just
because
know.
most people aren't gonna stop even if they do know.
Exactly.
But it's important that you do know and you make the decision. Now I know you done. Right now
Valentine's
you
Day.
just
Why are
done.
we celebrating that?
Like,
Valentine's Day is another
Right.
murky.
Yeah, I mean, all the
I'm not
holidays
touching that
have
one.
that.
I thought you was gonna start at least with Christmas. I'm ready to shoot the shit out of Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm not
Christmas
touching
next.
Valentine's Day.
I did Christmas.
Okay,
next.
all right,
Yeah,
bet. I'm
yeah,
gonna wait for
let's-
Christmas.
I mean, it's like I said, historically, it's a lot of different things, and I'm not even gonna hold you up. Just from going and doing my own deep dives in several histories and several religions, and just being just wanting to acquire as much knowledge as possible when I went through my whole discovery
awakening, what you
and
call it?
like when I went through my whole thing. At the end of the day, it's a lot, and you will forever be searching for the truth as long as you're not writing it or making it.
Well, let's talk about the history of Juneteenth, right? Because
Correct.
we have people that I'm sure you've run into that be like, "Oh, I'm not celebrating that." Right?
Yeah.
Why are we celebrating that? And their
Put
argument
on red,
is
white, and blue on 4th of July though.
this is their argument though. We want to talk about their argument because I give validity to
I'll
it.
say it so you don't
Right?
have to say
No.
it.
I'm gonna get to that because I don't give a fuck. But this is the thing. Okay, so they say, well, I'm not celebrating the fact that they gave us a freedom we should have had in the first place. This is what I've heard people say. I'm not celebrating them giving us freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like them giving us something. I'm not celebrating something we should have been. It was had. Okay. First of all, it's got to be somebody that got some sort of understanding of our existence here to even have that argument, right? Secondly, I always say that's a person who has never had a grandmother wake up after a seizure, never welcomed someone home from prison, never had someone walk out of a hospital who was sick. They don't know what it's like to rejoice on that second chance in life, right? And that is what we celebrate, the day they were given the chance to do what they want to do, right, and make their own path. And we've used Juneteenth in the earlier years. We used to tell kids to be as loud as they want to be because we had people who had to celebrate in silence, have birthdays in silence, have weddings in silence. So clap, be loud, bang, make noise, because today we're going to walk and today we're going to be heard for the fact that so many of us had to live literally in silence. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want people feeling like their argument is invalid or we don't care that they care about what they care about. But at the same time, we're using this to uplift our people today, right? And gather our people in the masses today. So I don't really spend too much time, when I say I honor our ancestors, we don't spend too much time dwelling or delving into our past during Juneteenth Detroit Festival, right? But it's there. What's understood don't need to be explained. Our understanding, our way of honoring our ancestors is rejoicing in the freedom we have today and promoting our young people and doing our best to celebrate their accomplishments for tomorrow, because this is what our ancestors lost their lives for and lived in servitude for. You know what I'm saying? So when I sing the Juneteenth Jubilee, because I remember when we met at Charles Wright and we didn't agree on working at Charles Wright. I did not agree on working at Charles Wright. But that's because I had already went down through there with Charles Wright. Right. And I was like, nah, the hell with this. Let's just do it ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
And that's fair. But I didn't know that. I just knew that I'm like, okay, you know, again, I know Juneteenth at the time wasn't new. But I knew we wanted to do something. And so when one of our committee members was like, hey, do you know about this group? And I'm like, no, but let's invite them to a meeting, you know, so I could get to know and they could see what we're doing. And then we could see if it's some collaboration moving forward, you know.
I was rigid. That's what they call that these days.
I mean, that's
Rigid?
fair.
I was rigid.
You were rigid, and the people you brought with you
I can use
were
rigid. We were rigid. You know what I'm saying? But what I understand now is that I was dealing with an educated sister who could make her own decisions, right? But you have to give people and this is what I know from organizing, you got to give people a chance to walk it themselves. And I do that with even the people who volunteer with me. And they be like, ooh, I'm going to go holler at so-and-so because I drink there all the time. I know they going to donate. I'll be like, okay, go ahead, go talk to them. You know what I'm saying? But you don't say something like, this is what I learned. Don't bother. They're not, you got to find it yourself. Let's do a bake sale. You're going to do, because it dims their light and it dims their spirit. You have to let them go forth and do what they're going to do and run it themselves. I must admit, I was happy when you were no longer there.
That's fair. And that's the thing. I mean, you know, after we had time to decompress and discuss everything, I can understand your rigidity. But, you know, the biggest thing was like, at the time, I did not think it shouldn't have gotten in the way of what we could have potentially done. So I say that I'm glad that you reached out and invited me to be on the podcast, and I'm glad we had time to connect last year with Tyrone and, you know.
Yes, the Michigan chapter.
Yep.
Because people don't even know how plugged we are.
Yeah.
You feel me? Shout out to the Michigan Juneteenth chapter. Yep. like 6 OG elders who've been putting together the biggest black golf outing I have ever seen, and I just invited you to come see that. Like, we have a video of them taking off last year, like 3 at a time, and I think it was like 250 golf carts with 2 people in each cart. They came from as far as Arizona to golf, all brothers and sisters. Couples, families. I was like, I didn't even know we got down like this. And they was like, oh yeah, we go hard. I did not know we got down like that on golfing. Yes. They were sponsored by Tito's. They sent out like peanut butter whiskey or something. Peanut butter flavored whiskey was at like every major hole. You know what I'm saying? I don't play golf, but I do drink, and it went well for me.
Whiskey probably would have had me in the hole.
It was all right. You know what I'm saying? But they reached out some years ago, and they have been continually supportive. But when we talk about picking up torches and passing torches, they are our elders. And I can tell how they moving things around. They like, I ain't going to keep on doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to excite people for our culture and for our history and for our future, right? So, what made you when you never mind Charles H. Wright. We really don't give too much attention to that. But what made you choose Livernois beyond that? Like, how did you decide to go forward? Beyond that.
So, honestly, just the pandemic. So, first year we were at the Wright. And that was cool, but then the pandemic happened the next year. And so during the time of the pandemic, I had more time to read. And we did like an online celebration for Juneteenth, which still turned out to, again, all of the celebrations have just been a blessing. Because,
they're always great,
Yeah, and just like in general, because just the fact that even for you and I, with having celebrations and the fact that they've been safe, and they've been blessed, and they've been events that people can come together and get something out of and take with them has just been, I'm just so grateful. Nonetheless, during the pandemic, I was reading a book called A Shining Thread of Hope. And it was the history of Black women in this country. And I learned about a group of women called the Housewives League of Detroit. Okay. And they had 3 goals, or 3 criteria, to be members. So it started off with Fannie B. Peck. She made the call, and then 50 women joined the Housewives League of Detroit. And what they understood was, at the time, due to sexism and different things, men are the ones working and bringing home the bacon, but we're the ones who control how the money is spent, right? So their goals was to support Black businesses, patronize Black professionals, and buy Black products. That was it. So they went around to different spots in the city of Detroit, so different stores and different merchants, to see if they met that criteria. And if they didn't, they put them on a no-shop list.
Okay.
So during this time period, also, it was during the 1930s, which was the worst economic time period in the country because it was during the Great Depression. But these women were able to not only grow from 50 to 10,000, they also spread to different metro cities around the Midwest. And they were able to secure 75,000 jobs for African Americans at that time. And like I said,
during the Depression.
Right, they put people on a no-shop list if they weren't about those 3 criteria. So I said, if these women are doing this at a time where they don't have social media, they probably had way more openly oppressive situations against them.
Yes.
If they can do this, then what are we doing to support Black entrepreneurship, So it just made sense. So even though there are a lot of Black businesses in the city, we don't have that many districts that have over 100 Black-owned businesses in one centralized area.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it just made sense to go to Livernois. And on top of that, they had the streetscape issue in 2019. Then 2020, it was the pandemic. So all of those...
when the islands got ripped up
and
they made the sidewalk bigger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So they got hit hard twice.
Right.
Because when you can't drive on the street where your business...
Oh, that's what you're saying. Business definitely faltered on Livernois for almost, 2 years?
Man,
like
313, man. Clem, man, he was talking about that a lot, man. How they basically had a big-ass cat renovator sitting right in front of his building.
Yeah.
At 313, man. You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. So... in addition to that being the most concentrated area of Black businesses, plus the issues that they had for 2 years, I was like, and on top of that, with all these COVID protocols, it makes sense to have something where you can be outside and inside.
There you go.
To not, cross-contaminate and all of that. So it just made sense in 2021. Because I was like inspired by the Housewives League of Detroit. So I was inspired by them. And then when it's all said and done, why not celebrate economic freedom as well? Because we went from being the source of economics to creating economic ecosystems.
Right.
And just from doing that, that was another reason too why I wound up getting recruited by Black Leaders Detroit. So mostly everything that I have done in the past few years have been centered around Black entrepreneurship, as well as with learning so many different things for myself, because I do have my own business and now a nonprofit, but the whole thing is I didn't know shit about credit,
right?
Let alone entrepreneurship to even want to do it, you know? And again, when you think about the history of this country and capitalism and just how, again, we weren't considered people, we were considered free labor. We were considered literal sources of income.
Like a mule.
Exactly. And that's why they called it chattel slavery. You know what I'm saying? Because we were considered animals,
right? Essentially.
So when you think about that, and then particularly when it comes to Black women, And given that we were the ones that could reproduce, but we were still sold for less and treated in different horrid ways. And don't get me wrong, like enslavement and what I've learned about it and everything, I know it's fucking horrible anyways, but I'm just simply saying, when you think about all of that in relation to where we are today, it's worth celebrating, you know. And to your point, I typically don't get in that argument either with people about Juneteenth and how they feel, because I personally don't care. And I say that because every single thing we've had in this country, we've had to fight for, even the right to be married. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be damned if I let anybody take anything away from me that will be joyous or celebratory. And then even when I got asked before, like, you know, are we focusing too much on the celebration and not the education, not this? I said, do we focus on that with any other holiday? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't we celebrate? Why do we have to be constantly reminded of our trauma?
Well,
you know?
But wait. But when it comes to the other holidays, right, if we try to educate them on the history of that,
do they want to know about?
They say focus on the celebration, not the education.
But that's my
You are
point.
black
So why
when it
should
comes
it
to
be
celebrating
different?
an Irish
They say
holiday.
focus on the.
You don't want to know the history about how Irish people feel about
That part.
What the hell?
Come on, man.
But that's
Come
what
on,
I'm saying. But when it comes to us, we have to be steeped in the trauma. And the thing that people don't understand is that in 1866, even when you think about economic freedom, 1866, formerly enslaved people and people in the community came together,
With the
put
money
their
they had
money
squirreled away.
There you go. Put their
Hid,
money together,
buried in the dirt.
right?
Like, I got this much.
To buy Emancipation Park. So the whole thing, and they bought the park. So, and that was the first park that was open for African Americans to even be able to swim there.
Owned by them.
Yes.
Still to this day.
But the whole thing is they bought the park so they could celebrate Juneteenth. It started off about celebration because we know the Emancipation Proclamation came out in 1863, and it wasn't until 2.5 years later when the message got out. But even still, when we read these fucking documents, when you read the Emancipation Proclamation, it wasn't even logistically sound to be executed to make sure that people were free. So I say all this to say, I don't fucking care if people don't want to celebrate it. But one thing that you're not going to talk to me about is why we should not. You know?
Man.
Oh my
She
God.
just
My God. When I tell you I've been waiting motherfucking 13 years to hear that shit spit at me, the way I've been spitting it at people, the passion she had, she know what she know. And that means she can talk about it with anybody, anywhere. I done been in after hours talking about it. I done put these flyers in summer everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And it's just amazing to hear said. It's amazing to hear it talked about. And you're right. So now we have people, like you say, it's been safe. So many different versions of us, right? We have people who are doing it in their bar parking lots, at their hair salon parking lots. This is the thing. That's also an economic thing. They say, what about economic freedom? That's what they're going to say, and that's fine. What I've been telling people is if you're doing something for your business, make sure you attach yourself to whatever is also going on in your community, okay? This cannot be a self-serving situation. Denver, Colorado has one of the biggest celebrations of Juneteenth just based on what it does economically. You know what I'm saying? Lansing, Michigan is on year 32? And I tell this to people, I say, can you imagine there's been such a celebration going on for 30 years and ain't never been on channel 2, 4, 7, 50, 20, nothing?
Boy.
You don't know nothing about it.
Wait, until they made it a what?
Right, until they made it a national. But this is the thing, though. All that means is Lansing did their paperwork, and they've been getting that money from the feds every year for 27, 30. I found out about them on year 27. Then when I worked in Royal Oak, that's when I found out for every federal holiday, for every major holiday, every single municipality in America gets money to celebrate the holiday. Right? So with Royal Oak, it was like $30,000. Right? So imagine they give you $30,000, and we talking about the people who do things wrong. Right? Imagine they give you $30,000 for a celebration that nobody's even talking about. So you post it on your website that nobody barely goes to, and then you put a Post-it note on a desk of a secretary, right? And then the day of Juneteenth, you open a door in your office and there's like some books or something. And that's $30,000 worth of work, right? There have been cities all over America, municipalities all over America getting money for Juneteenth for 100 years, and they have told you nothing about it. The reason it's important and the work that Sister Ayers has done is important is because it's revolutionary work. She has decided to be a part of something that your system has systematically kept you away from. It makes no sense that your teacher told you nothing, your pastor told you nothing, your city councilman's told you nothing. It makes no sense. It was kept from all of us. Now we got councilmen who are in chairs right now. They don't know it any more than we do because it wasn't taught to us. It's something they let go of, and that's because of our history here. People of color came to the North during the time of segregation, and they wanted to fit in, and they wanted to let go of all beefs. And how you gonna let go of beef if you still celebrating that holiday? Because they knew about it. Our grandmothers and their friends and they knew about it when they came up here, but they chose to stop celebrating it. They chose to stop. This is not by accident. This was by design.
Because what? I'm not even going to open that book.
Listen, if you want to get along, you got to get along. You feel me? You got to go along and get along.
Like, that's what I want to say. Like,
4th of July took the place of it. You cannot have 2 Independence Days. My shirt says, and the shirts that we're promoting says, Juneteenth is my Independence Day. I got brothers who support Juneteenth who don't like that we say that. You feel me? It's whatever. You can't please everybody. I got brothers who didn't like that a white woman sang at Juneteenth a couple years ago. Right? I don't think a white woman should ever touch a microphone at Juneteenth. Oh, okay. The only reason she touched it is because we did a lip sync and somebody had to sing with Rick James. Who else was gonna sing Tina Marie Park? You feel me? They dressed up. Brother put on a dreadlock wig with the beads on in 90-degree weather, wore a velvet suit with no shirt on, and they won. It was beautiful. And because that white woman was there, and this is all honestly, there had been white people there, but nobody had ever performed. You know, they'd be low key. The white woman performed, and because of her own promoting, we didn't end up flooded with white people. You know what we ended up flooded with? Mixed couples, right? Black men holding white women's hands with their little orange babies and they, you know what I'm saying, they brown hair and shit. It was a beautiful thing, and we welcomed them, right? But I've had people say, "What we gonna do when the gay people show up? What we gonna do when the white women show up?" Over the years, and I just be trying to please the people I'm working with that year, but I'm like, we're just marketing Juneteenth. Whoever wants to come can come.
And that's the thing. Like, it's not about isolating anybody, and to be perfect.
That's what I said. We're gonna be indivisive with everything.
And that's the thing, I guess. Like, my thing is this: if it's produced by us, and we control the means of the celebration, that's what we should hold sacred too.
There she go.
And that's the main thing.
Yeah.
But everybody can celebrate.
It's ours.
Yeah.
It's ours.
But,
show up, do what you want to do, but it's still ours.
And on top of that, it shouldn't be something that's a separate history because it's American history.
Both took part in it. It took both sides to make it a celebration.
So I'm just simply saying, like, again, you know, and like you said earlier, we can't tell people how to feel. We're not in the business of doing that. No. But again, it's an inclusive celebration. And as long as we hold and cling and harbor the means of production and how it's celebrated and keep it ours, it don't matter who come out and spend their money and whatever else. Like,
I definitely started saying words like inclusive and tolerant when Royal Oak reached out, right? Royal Oak reached out, and they helped me understand that when we have all these different people that's going to be doing Juneteenth, it's needed. Everybody needs somewhere to go. Every type of person that likes that. When I'm talking about the type of partying you like to do. Now they'll have them at bars. Eventually, your bars are going to catch on because down south, everybody does it. You feel me? It's not a thing. Why don't you have it in your window? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's been going on for 200 years. We have to get to that point, right? And it's going to take brothers and sisters working together, not in the sense of, and this is to be clear too, we ain't supposed to become family. We're not supposed to become best friends. That is not how business gets done. That is not how we go forward. Of course, we're going to be respectful of each other and all that. But I don't think every single bond or every single business bond is supposed to mean now I add somebody to my family and I got to worry about all your family stuff and all your personal stuff. But it does become personal when you're volunteering, right? When you're giving that time, you're pulling up on each other. But when it becomes personal, it's also a way to become divisive. We have to decide as a people that it's going to be something that we're just focused on for the single get on of focusing on it. You feel me? Point blank period. No, I don't have to like him. I don't have to agree with their lifestyle. None of that. But when we put this paperwork together,
right,
that cover letter needs to have all of us on it. You know what I'm saying? Or at least the ones that are willing to work together. Because last year we made a point to say that we have been soliciting Myers on 8 Mile and Woodward for $1,500 for about 6 years. And we got it every year.
good.
But when they declared it a holiday, we didn't get it. So we asked the gentleman, like, what happened? Same guy we've been giving the same applications to every year. We got 62 applications for the same allotment. So we just decided not to give it to anyone so we don't get in the middle of anything. His words were, you can't all be the biggest Juneteenth celebration in Detroit, right? So basically he's saying when y'all get right, we'll figure it out, right? But the thing is, the hell with the $1,500. That's what they give when they say we give $1 million a year. They break it down per store, and each store has about 10 or 20, and they have to give something every holiday. So it breaks down to $1,500 per holiday. I've worked at a festival where Pepsi has dropped off a semi-truck for free, filled with sodas, just because of the turnout.
You say soda? It's like, nah.
Yeah, soda, real talk. But there's the thing, though. They have juices. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, we don't have to solicit people. If we come together properly, if we present something properly, they will give to your situation. As long as you're the North End car wash doing it, you ain't got to worry about ever seeing any of that, right? So you do it for yourself. You do it for your community, for your neighborhood, but you have to attach yourself to the bigger thing that's happening. Make that your nonprofit branch, right? But people have to pay taxes to care. I've learned that too, because like once we became a nonprofit, I'm like, well, I can give you tax deductible receipts, and they just like, what's that? You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, bro, you got a whole car wash, but if you don't pay taxes, you don't care about a tax deductible receipt.
That's fair.
You feel me? So it's like, okay, I had to learn about that. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at Sister Ayers, I say, okay, see, this is what happened. This is why we have to join together, because we've been trying to get frats and sorors to come out for years, right? We can't pull them in a million directions, but I would like to be able to say they're going to be there. You feel me? Go see them there. I want to be able to legitimately share and post and promote, you know what I'm saying, the other events, because we're only doing ours on Monday, and yours is what, all weekend?
Yeah, well, it's not Monday though. So
Tell us what's going on. Right. Tell us what's going on for Juneteenth Jubilee this whole year. What's the schedule?
So Friday is the Beats and Barbecue, kind of like kickoff or ceremonial piece at Batch Brewing Company in Corktown. So it is some small programming. We're gonna have a specific toast with strawberry saison and strawberry soda, which we got to do like a brew day. So that's kind of been like a thing.
So this is a drink you created?
Well, we got to help make the drink.
Okay.
At Batch. So they taught us the science and chemistry of like beer making and things of that nature. And we chose to go with strawberry because of the significance with the holiday. So, you know, with the red drink and everything.
Yeah, because they use the Tahitian treat in the South. That's like their drink. They're red.
Yep.
Yeah. But remember when we used to be addicted to it, though? They stayed 99 cents the longest. I'm sorry. Go ahead. So that's Friday.
Yeah,
we
so
have
that's
the Batch
Friday.
Brewing Company.
Yep, Batch Brewing Company in Corktown on Friday. They are sponsoring partners for Friday. Then Saturday, we're back on Livernois with the Juneteenth Jubilee Stroll. And there, we're going to have activation in various blocks because we know it's a long stretch.
Yes.
But the thing is, we want people to walk, you know. And speaking of walking, that morning, we're also going to have a 5K at Marygrove Conservancy. So again, another thing to keep in mind is that it's also Men's Health Month, you know. And again, the whole thing of Juneteenth came about as my father was dying from a diabetic seizure. Well, not a seizure, excuse me. What's the... Stroke. There we go. Stroke. Yeah. But needless to say, you know, it's not a fond memory, but needless to say, that was his third one. You know, so when you just think about health and even with that, that's a form of freedom. You know what I mean? Because we know what it's like to be in places that have food deserts and don't have access to healthy foods. And the whole thing is, it's just so many things systemically, but nonetheless.
Brothers need to take themselves to the doctor, man.
They do.
You know,
And
historically, we need to take
again,
ourselves to the doctor.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
You do. Yes, we do. But at the end of the day, it's just like when it comes down to us creating unity, we have to look at relational wealth. And I can't marry a black man if y'all keep dying because y'all ain't taking care of yourselves. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Saturday morning we'll be doing a 5K at Mary Grove Conservancy, and the proceeds will go to an organization that either supports health, wealth, or wellness. So that's the whole point of the 5K. Kids are free. Anybody 18 and up is $20. So it's a small fee, so we can take that money and put it towards something. So walking with a purpose. And then after that, they can turn up and celebrate on the stroll and shop and enjoy a main stage, as well as a HBCU tailgate. So those are the two major activations on Livernois during the stroll.
And that's Saturday.
Yep, this is all Saturday. So we're going to be celebrating
shutting down
and
that
walking.
whole Mary Grove, the whole area.
Whole
and then
space.
the 5K, does it end near the stroll or does it pass the stroll?
No, so the 5K is just on Mary Grove's campus. So we mapped it out. And the reason being just one, safety. Two, you know how it is working with the city. So it's a lot of stuff, you know, and then three, with this being our first attempt at doing a 5K, I'm like, okay, let's just see how it goes, you know? And Mary Grove gave us a really good deal. So I'm like, hey, we going to do it, you know? So the whole point is like, we'll be going from 8 to 6 that day, you know? But the idea is like, once you do your 5K, you happy about it, you get your medal, go ahead and celebrate on Livernois right down the street, you know? Right. So that's the whole concept, of course, just one, to acknowledge the health part of it, and then two, the economic part, and then three, the whole thing is that we all need to walk. Walking is good for you, and why not? But on Livernois, the way the stroll will work, all registered participants will receive a little lanyard or map where they'll get a sticker or punch card.
Something to take home.
Yeah, and they'll get a bag. But the thing is, we're going to incentivize them finishing the stroll. So we're going to have designated stops on the stroll for people to go by.
Because a 5K is how far?
It's only 3.14 miles.
Yes, just to be clear, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, like UK money or something. It's not a whole 5 miles. And you don't owe nobody $5,000, and there's not a $5,000 prize.
5M.
That's just the way they say it. It's like kilometers.
Kilometers.
Kilometers. Did I say that right?
I think it's like...
Did I say the same word but different?
Yeah, you remixed it. Like
tomato,
kilometers.
tomato.
And you said kilometers.
Kilometers.
Yours sound official, though.
I mean,
you know, he went to school longer than I did for his profession. You know, he's like certified for all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta... I defer to him from time to time because of his certifications. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's Saturday.
All right, so that's Saturday.
And
we all day we doing the 5K, which is really 3.5, so I'm down. And then, because I know I can do 2. I've been walking 2 miles on a treadmill every other day for the last 5 weeks.
Look at you.
So I know I can do 2. You feel me? Yes, I am an example for any man over 350 pounds. You're right. Anybody who has lost sight of your situation, brothers, I want to help you see your little mans again. You feel me? I lost sight of my situation in 2019. It was devastating. Our relationship changed. You feel me? You cannot self-care if you cannot see yourself. Okay? Let me help you out. I can get you together. Big Body Workouts on Facebook.
Big Body.
We meet 3-4 times. As a matter of fact, you got to be over 250 pounds to even be down. You know why? Because I want people to be comfortable when they working out. And it ain't nothing worse.
You gotta
come in the gate, big body workouts. I said that.
You gotta come in the gate not being able to see your dick.
First of all, that was vulgar. Second of all, that's not necessarily the case. But anybody, most people over 250 is having some sight challenges.
I've been drinking.
You feel
I thought
me?
that's what he said.
Yes, that's where I'm going with it. That's my motivation. Okay. What the fuck? How much more motivation do you need other than you can't see it no more? Okay? I'm trying to help. It'll change your life, and it'll give you inches back on your situation. Yeah, because they act like women are the only one with fupas, but men have them too. Right? And you definitely losing inches on your situation with your fupa. Yeah, they got futas. You know what I'm saying? We got to teach you how to. Now listen, now you know on the marketing tip, I have played football and I've been locked up. I know the workout tip, but I also been injured. I've had high blood pressure. I've had
yeah,
diabetes. I no longer have either one of those things. As far as the numbers go, I think my diabetes is gone. I no longer
That's
take a
good.
pill. I got to
That is
prick my
good.
finger. All the numbers is so we working on mobility
Good.
and getting your numbers back to normal. You feel me? Now, once you get down to a weight size, I'm not a personal trainer to get you a 6-pack. I will slide you over to another brother or sister who know what they're doing.
That
I
is
am here to get you
admirable.
moving.
Yeah.
So when you get to that person, you ain't slowing down their group. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because that's the issue. I don't want to go. I'm fat as hell. And be next to these itty bitty motherfuckers don't even need to work out. They ain't gonna be at our workout. It's gonna be other people that's fat as hell at our workout. You know what I'm saying? Other people that move slow. Other people that might pass gas when they doing crunches. That's what happens when you work. You feel me? We're gonna get this up out you. First week you're gonna have some flatulence. If you stick to the diet, it won't happen no more because you're eating all the wrong foods. You feel
All
me?
the wrong
Yeah, you got
stuff.
too much dairy up in there. We just trying to do leg raises and you letting out all your anxieties. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, so that's Saturday. You
Yes.
said that as if there is more. What else is going on?
Sunday we
Father's
have-
Day.
Yes, Father's Day. We are working with our partners with Metro Detroit Black Business Alliance for the Freedom Fest down at Eastern Market Conservancy. Yep.
Okay.
So that is also from 12 to 6. And yeah, so that's pretty much gonna be an easier day for me because I'm just a partner, in the sense of like it just made sense in regards to affiliate relationships and what you're trying to do, and why
Because you
not?
just had a very busy day the day before.
Correct.
So there's that Sunday, you don't have to do much.
Exactly.
You
So
kinda
I
just
just
need
been
to
on
be there.
the planning end, helping
Yes.
out. It's a
You know, I
beautiful
feel you.
thing,
I feel
right?
you.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's a beautiful thing.
I look forward to the
so,
day where I can show up and sit in a chair. And
exactly.
just shake hands and
so,
kiss babies and they got to do nothing.
Exactly.
Right now, I still get kids hyped up for 3-legged races. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Our festival has been, the Juneteenth Detroit Festival has been very much focused on getting people active, getting parents active with their children. That's why we shied away from CHW because it was so much concrete, right? We play a lot of field games
Okay.
and there's no red cups, you know what I'm saying? So we want you to be sober and have fun. You might fall in the grass. We don't want you to be upset because people laugh, you know what I'm saying? So that's why we say no liquor, no alcohol, because we don't know how you respond to a little laughter, losing a game. It's 90
But
degrees.
don't reach out to Nike.
Probably like 5 years ago. I don't really go back. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And that's the thing. That's the thing. But this is why we're here, right? We're here because if we're going to accept what people call, I know they didn't call you queen, right? People say, oh, right. This is what they call you. If you're going to step into it and be it, because this is what you are. You're leading your people based on an idea and that you and your sister, y'all went through. You know what I'm saying? You lead them. It is what it is. It took me 10 years to start talking like this, but damn it, it's true. If we're going to do this, then we can't cut them off from resources. You
Right.
feel me? I understand that you are more connected when it comes to corporate, you know what I'm saying, as far as our white collar living black people, when it comes to their educations, right? We have created a lane for ourselves where we are the vanguard or the go-betweens between brothers and sisters that want to know better and do better, right? And then the brothers and sisters who already are doing better based off what they know, right? When we created this event, it allowed a safe space for a brother to come from 10 Mile and be on 7 Mile in Buffalo or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And one of our earliest meetings, we had principals from various schools. I'll never forget it. They were throwing water balloons, right, with the young men, and it got really hot. And some other brothers took their shirts off because they were hot. They were all throwing balloons with the young men, and then they kind of seen their tattoos, some of their surgeries, you know what I'm saying? And when they left, one of the principals called, like, man, what type of dudes you be having out there? I'm like, I don't know, ones who care. You feel me? Because that day, we weren't out there based on what your profession was or what I do in the streets. We were out there because it was a bunch of young men here today that needed people to help them have a good time, right? And that is, it's an equalizer, right? And we end up blended amongst each other, mingled amongst each other, and that's what's beautiful to me because some of these people would never be caught dead next to each other. And I had to learn that. I had to learn that we have black people that look just like us, that don't want to be around certain other black people just based on how they look, dress, act. We straight on that. You know what I'm saying?
But this is the thing. It go both ways.
Absolutely. Because, and this when I say we, because I feel more part of one group, you begin to feel inferior, which then makes you feel aggressive and makes you act an ass. You feel me?
And on top of that, the thing about our city is that we all operate in silos. And like
geographically too.
Yes, and that's the thing that I've just realized with the work that we're doing with Black Leaders Detroit. We are about funding Black-led businesses and nonprofits. That is it. You know, but the thing is, like, I find myself in these spaces where people are talking about wanting change. And it doesn't matter what space I'm in because, I mean, I have family that may be what you are referring to. And that's half my background, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I'm not foreign to understanding somebody coming out of prison. My biological father was in prison most of my life. You know what I mean? Like, he got out of prison when I got out of college. Dead
Mine
ass.
still is.
Like,
you feel me?
But that's what I'm saying.
This
like,
is why I said you are the leader. Because what happens is some of the people, some of the places you've been and some of the people you talk to, I've been there and vice versa. I don't have to know them anymore. And you don't have to know them anymore. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to say that the Avenue of Fashion, Juneteenth Jubilee, Sharia Airs, this is a safe space for y'all, right? Yeah. So even though y'all don't have as much money, right? Because I tell, real talk, for 10 years, I told the vendors, don't bring anything that costs more than 15, 20 bucks. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's always been free. Not until I have my own babies did I get into charging people based on the fact that, I can't do too much out of pocket. Yeah. But I want people to know the Juneteenth Jubilee is just now 2 miles away, 3 miles away from where we will be. Highland Park is very helpful and very involved. And when it comes to our city government, after filing paperwork with the Detroit Parks and Rec for a decade, I definitely thought when they finally decided to celebrate Juneteenth, they would look for the people in their community who had been doing it, but instead they completely overlooked that and did their own thing. They said something online to help me understand why it's important for us to work together. They said on TV, this is the first time the city of Detroit has ever celebrated Juneteenth. My elders were upset. What are they talking about? I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to call the Fox 2. I had to understand that when they say that, they don't mean us. They mean like the people who work in the buildings downtown, right? Yeah. They are separating themselves from whatever we got going on, not downtown, right?
But that's the thing. People just don't even know, and they don't care to know. And that's all I guess, you know, I just want to articulate well. Because no matter what group I have been around, no matter who you mention, whatever, somebody is a celebrity or they know somebody or big stuff in that group. But if you ask the other group, do you know so-and-so, they ain't even heard of it. You know, and just like even for myself with Juneteenth Jubilee, like this would be our 5th year, thank God. But the whole thing is like, I have people coming to me now who still say like, I didn't even know people were doing anything for it. And I'm not the first one. And you know what I'm saying?
Right, and you be like, listen, when that happens, I'm like, damn, my promotion ain't shit.
But that's the thing. But you can, it's just like, but the whole.
I swore I put that up a lot.
Let me ask y'all something.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like,
between the two of is any of y'all events on the same day?
This year, no. For the last 2 years, they have been. We are not strangers to each other, it's just been. We've been waiting for it to organically happen properly, and I think this is the year. Next year will be much better, but yes, I'm able to tell people.
Here's the thing. I feel like this is like, you know, will be the materializing of that, right? First
Absolutely.
off, it's the perfect opportunity because inadvertently right now, y'all Juneteenth celebration is together because nothing is conflicting with each other. As far
Absolutely,
as
yes.
And y'all are coming together and discussing, just planning on the future and just, you know, the possibilities of collaboration and all of that. You know what I mean? So right now, like y'all promoting both of y'all stuff together. I mean, and we all said that it's not anybody's thing. Nobody owns it, right?
Yes,
correct.
Yeah.
And who else in the city is doing something for Juneteenth on the scale of you or you?
Nobody. I'll answer that. Nobody. Like it's just us. So, I mean, and it's a beautiful thing, though.
This seems like the beginning of
yes,
what
I hope
should
it is.
Be. You know what
I hope it is. Yes, I hope it is. And what we're doing this year is I get to choose because I don't have day after day after day of my own Juneteenth and stuff I'm trying to do because that can't be how it goes. You got to have space to go support. So now we have June 14th is a comedy fundraiser. June 15th is a skating fundraiser. Okay. June 18th, that Sunday, we have the day party at St. Regis. Slide through Sundays already happens. But that OG crowd, I've been waiting to get with them for 2 years. Like I need them OGs. You know what I'm saying? I'll be looking for the people with the money. You know what I'm saying? And people that care. And those elders slide through. I went to a couple of their parties, man, and you cannot come half stepping. You feel me? So the 18th, we're there, and then the 19th, we're there. So on those off days, that's where I'm going to be, and we going to mob. But I got one more thing to ask before we go. In joining with Highland Park, by the way, shout out to Highland Park and everything they're going through. We know they're fighting for their water and everything, but they are a proud city. They've been fighting for that for a decade, and they're down for the get down with Juneteenth, and everyone's involved. And shout out to y'all. But,
y'all trying to Highland Park, my granny Foster out there. Hey, granny.
You feel me? Yes, Highland Park is in a little bit of everywhere. But May 20th, they are having there's a parade they've been having for the longest. I've never known. I've never been a part of it. But when they approved ours, one of the citizens said, well, will y'all be a part of our parade May 20th? It's on Hamilton. If you have any time of your day that day, I think it would be great for us to show up for them, right? It was sprung on me.
What time is it?
I don't even know. I got to call her.
Come on, man.
I'm just, listen. The only reason I said it here is because just in case they see it, I want to know I put it out there.
Well, and that is commendable.
Yes, but now I will inbox you and talk about the details and
Okay.
find out whether or not you can come for real.
Yeah, because I'm like, you know.
They didn't tell me. They just said it's
one
May
of my
20th.
BFFs is here.
Yes,
and the whole
but this
thing
the thing.
is we
This the
celebrating
thing.
her too that
Right,
day.
it
so,
don't have
you
to.
know.
And this is the thing. This is what we got to remember too. Now that you got a whole village. It ain't never got to be you no more. You feel me? Representation is everything, and that's the way I try to get people to the parade because they think it's got to be them. It don't have to be you. You can send somebody with a Juneteenth Jubilee shirt on or with some Juneteenth Jubilee flyers.
And I'm for that.
And you're there.
Yeah.
You are there. That is it. You feel me? Next
tell
year,
you.
we come deep. We just found out about this a week ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we need to start it, right?
Okay.
So if you can send some type of representation May 20th, I'll give you the details.
Yeah, that's
That
all
would
I
be
need
great. Okay.
because the whole thing is, like I said, people will support. I just,
Yes,
and on top
yes.
of that, I mean, I know it doesn't have to be me, but I guess in the spirit of being here today,
It counts.
I'm just kind of like,
It
yeah,
counts. It counts. It counts. But we can't be everywhere at one time.
You right.
That's what I've learned
You right.
over the years. Like
That's,
you can't be
when
everywhere
you
at one time.
said that earlier,
Yeah.
that's what sparked the light bulb in my head as far as, okay, so you can't be everywhere at one time. You can't be everywhere at once. Is y'all events on the same day? Because, y'all, it's like.
No, but see, I planned on coming, but everything with me is also is centered in some
Like
street
y'all,
shit.
like,
I just wanted to make
y'all
sure we
need to
kicked
be
it before I
partners
showed
on
up.
This shit is my point.
Because you know what it looks like when we show up, man. It's like 6 people look like me, and then we all got women that kind of look like us, and we walk together in unison. They like, what's up with that big ass crowd of black people come? Like, and he didn't even say he was coming with them shirts on. Like, because it don't be her, it be the person standing next to you. You feel me? Or the person standing, what's up with dog? You feel me? So you got to knock first.
What they do?
First.
What they do?
Like, what's up with dog? What's up with him? And you like, I don't. Man, this the thing. You ain't talked to me, so you don't know what's up with me. You feel me?
that's
Well, I'm gonna go
fair.
talk to him and see, girl, because what is they deep as hell. It's just, it don't be us. So we did this. This is what bosses do, right? They call you bosses. They call you kings, queens, whatever, organizers, founders, creators. But this is what we do. And then the people who mob behind you and the people who mob behind me, with all due respect, they just simply fall in line and they know if you trust it, we trust it until one of us fucks it up. But I ain't never messed it up. 13 years, safety is very important to me. Respect of our women and our children is very important to me. This is a time to be sacred, not act a fool. And I pity the fool who has to be the first one that we have to make an example out of. Because we don't call the police. We don't play police games. The police be so far away from what I'm doing, I don't even think you'll ever see them. But we going to definitely make sure you understand this is not a place to put our people and our babies in danger, right? So we're going to keep it peace. We're going to keep it love. Shout out to Juneteenth Jubilee, 5 years in the game.
Yes,
Right.
and thank
Breaking
you to
down.
all
Okay,
the
so
committee
wait.
members. Thank
Yes,
you
yes,
so much.
it takes a whole
A
village.
whole
Now,
village and some.
are you still working to get more Illinois business to be a part of it? Or are they all locked in for the space, the stretch you're using?
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a lot of canvassing, calling, and following up. So no, not every business is involved. And the ones that are, we're gonna put them on the map so the people can stop out here on the stroll.
But see, that's the goal, because I watched a special on Pepsi and Coca-Cola, and the Pepsi dude said we still solicit everybody that doesn't have a Pepsi fountain machine because we still want their business. You feel me? So when people, that's why I put up the post I put up. It don't matter if you tell me no. I'm going to come back next year anyway. It's just one day out the year. Maybe you busy. Next year, maybe not. Only way I'm going to find out is if I'm going to hit you up every year. There's people, hundreds of people I've been in their inboxes for years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what it's like.
Yeah.
But I have not done very well above me. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I focused so much on the people. I have not done very well making business relationships. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like I'm not good with the discouragement. You feel me?
Well,
I think I'd have been better sending out a team of people to pitch it, and then I ain't got to hear people say no so much. You know
well,
what I'm
that's
saying?
the thing, though, I guess, like, to your point. And that's why I always say, like, it's really nothing but God and just favor and people being put in my life. But I learned a lot about that type of stuff with building relationships from being on the Bravo Bravo committee for years. Mm-hmm. So had you heard of Bravo Bravo before?
No, not till just now.
So Bravo Bravo was, like, the largest fundraiser for the Opera Theater because, you know,
Okay.
Detroit is the second largest theater district to New York.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like a big party, and I was on the committee, and the thing is, they were like, and at this time I was a teacher, so you know, but I always did programs and did stuff. I've been planning shit since high school, to be
Right,
honest, you know.
right.
But anywho, they gave me a task, and I realized how easy it was to just ask. You know what I'm saying? And that was how it got introduced to me, because I didn't have any relationships, because that wasn't my realm.
All right, so
You know?
look, for these give me a couple minutes, last couple minutes, this is what we're going to talk about. I feel like we can talk about this because it's original ideas, so no one can take it anyway. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the businesses that support, we felt like, based on one time we had someone donate 450 pounds of assorted meats to us for the barbecue.
Awesome.
Out of Hamtramck. And we went back the next year, he didn't want to do it again. He said, none of your people came in here throughout the year after I did that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, how you know ain't no Juneteenth people coming here? He said, no black people came in here, right? He was a Muslim brother, right, in Hamtramck. He's like, no, I served to the same people for the rest of the year. I gave you 450 pounds of meat. So I'm like, okay, we had to come up with a plan to help our sponsors and even our vendors know that rocking with us was coming back to them throughout the year, right? So now when we get someone to sponsor an event or sponsor, we promote them throughout the rest of the year, right? Not just into the end of the event. But also we created the RBG dollar, right? Which is a one-of-a-kind piece of dollar, money, paper. Okay. But it's a coupon, whatever. But what happens is you're the business owner. You say you're going to sponsor us. When it's over, we give you a stack of these RBG dollars, right? And then all of our family, all of our people, when they come there, our Juneteenth people, when they come to you and they mention that, you give them one of those with every order or every service or whatever, right? What happens is, we've done this our second year doing this now. No matter your economic situation, I want you to be able to enjoy Juneteenth, right?
So wait, I'm sorry.
Right. So it's like a coupon you give out as a business owner.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
Right. Okay, so what I wanted to do this for was because I wanted them to be able to see that rocking with us came back to them. 210.
I got you.
right?
Reciprocity.
All right, bet. So, and that was very important. So now what happens is, regardless of where you land with your pockets, when Juneteenth come around, you can come, right? You didn't, just by going to get pizza from there, like we asked you to get your weed from over there, go get your brakes changed over here. You didn't accumulated these throughout the year, but they're only spendable at Juneteenth Detroit events, right? Our vendors, they do not pay us. Our vendors know to donate $40 or don't, whatever the fee. I've never charged more than $50 for a vendor fee. So it's like, instead of giving me $50, accept 50 of these. You feel me? Or accept 25 of these, right? What happens is, when someone comes with green money, they spending all their money, they got all the fun stuff, they win at every table. We don't want any family walking through there with nothing because they have nothing, right? If throughout the year you've been able to be, we want our community to be on Juneteenth more than just 2-3 months before, 2-3 weeks before. If you know that where you spend your money matters, right? Literally going here to get your pizza rather than going to Happy's or whatever is going to come back to you at the end of the year. It's going to come back to you at Juneteenth. That's what that's for. I would like to perfect this or refine this so that I can use it.
Let's talk
so
about
that I
this.
can use it amongst more, because we only have like Golden Wings that work perfectly with them.
Right.
Golden Wings has a meal in their store now on Greenfield and Grand River. It's like 2 strips and some fries. But if you had 6 RBG dollars, you could buy that and walk out of there with it. You feel me?
Okay.
Now what happens is, next year when we come to them and say, we want you to be a sponsor for $500, they're like, well, here go all those RBG dollars I took in through the year. They go back on it. You feel me? Now we got people walking around the hood with $20 in normal money and $10 in RBG dollars because that gas station will take it, and that chicken spot will take
Are
it.
you trying to be on some Fidel Castro type shit, creating your own?
Whenever I
currency,
talk
son?
about this, someone says something like that, but you got to be smarter to, or hip. Someone said something about you trying to have an NFT walking around. I'm like, no, I just want our people to have a circle of money like Black Wall Street. You feel me? And the people who are running things are at the top of it, making sure everything okay. You ain't got to worry about that. Just have the dollars and spend them.
Hey,
me and the vendors already got to understand
Kong,
it.
I love you, brother. You're my brother, right?
Right.
Don't try to overthrow the U.S. dollar, man. They might try to do something to you, all right?
Listen, the only way it works is if I did
listen,
good.
do you see
If
what
they come for me,
you
then
see
damn
what
it, it worked out.
You see what they did with the Cash App guy.
Yes, come for me. Come
All right.
for me.
No,
Then it works.
We are not speaking any of that.
Into
We're
the
speaking
universe.
prosperity.
It worked.
At the end of the
Look
day,
how prosperous Cash App was.
We're
before
gonna
they
talk.
came.
We're gonna talk about.
All right, I gotta go because we got some top
Yeah.
secret
This
issues
This
to talk
We're
about.
gonna
This is why
talk
we
about
need
it.
sisters in the panel on
So,
board.
This is
you
why.
know,
This is why
but
I
again,
reached out to her.
I just wanted to say thank you, but I do want to talk to you about it, and
All right.
let's definitely explore it.
Because what we want to do is just make sure that our Black-owned businesses and anybody who supports Juneteenth, we want to incentivize them, and we also want to make sure that people get to run like, damn. The one thing I know we can do from the protests and the work I have done is I can stop your money. We stopped BP money for 3-4 months. I can stop your money, but I first got to get my people focused on something. I got enough women to stand in front of any business with picket signs and say y'all don't care about black people, if that's how they want to run it. But you can't do that until you clicked up. You feel me? But I'm ready. And if you want to put them on the no shop list, that's what we'll do, right? But see, this is what happens. This is what happens when I done knocked on your door and we asked you and we
no-fly zone.
and we came. You feel me? We came with the paperwork and if you want to donate, if you want to give us some bottles of water, we did that for 10 years. Now my whole city done woke up. We know what Juneteenth is, and we're going to organize them, and you're gonna give it, or we ain't giving you shit. Bottom line to it. Now we ain't gotta, because what happens is when New Era did it, or whenever our people don't want to be told to be aggressive. They don't want to be told to be militant because we not all on that tip. But if you find out that the people down the street that you stay giving your money to won't even give your kids a bottle of water, I can work with that. I can work with that anger. You done pissed off too many mamas with that because we're not asking for much. We have literally made people millionaires. When they talked about how much those liquor stores made on French Road, $2.3 million in shots and double shots. Ain't nobody got no money over there. Come on, man. We come to you
But
and ask you
it's
for
like
150
that
bucks.
in the whole country, though. We are the second largest consumer group in this country, and we don't make up the majority of the wealth. And that's the thing, because even, again, and of course I'm going to push where I work, because I work at Black Leaders Detroit, and the whole thing is we understand that, and we are building an economic ecosystem for our people. We have over 1,000 members that have distributed. So through their membership, which is only $1 a week or $4 a month, plus philanthropic fundraising, we've been able to put over $1.5 million in the hands of nonprofit leaders and Black-led businesses operating in the city. And we partner with people like MDBBA and with Operation School with Rachel Allen because we want to see our people succeed. And the whole thing is, I'm not trying to tell people where and how to spend their money. I'm just trying to let them know that nobody pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. We shouldn't subscribe to westernized things. And when we put our money together, especially if we're the second largest consumer group, that's how you affect change.
And that's why we need balance. That's why this is the balance. Because I am trying to tell you where to spend your money, right? But look how she dressed that up. I'm telling you a fool if you listen, you can buy weed from the same dude for weeks, let you be down on your knuckles, and try to get a bag from him, and he say, no, you done with dog.
But let me tell you this, but if we fund a black entrepreneur that opens up a distillery, then they have another option and somewhere else to go. So I'm just saying.
So you see what she's saying? What she's saying is she not anti nobody. She pro us.
That's
right.
it.
That's what Malcolm. I'm not anti nobody. I'm just pro us. I'm telling y'all, you need to be more pro yourself, more pro you. We sell everything. I buy tissue from black owned people. I buy laundry detergent from a black owned. You know what I'm saying? It's everywhere, right? Yeah. We are everywhere. We are everything. Marcus let us go over because he enjoyed us, obviously. But we was deep in it. We appreciate y'all. Hopefully this will not be your last time here. We hope you do come back.
I appreciate
June
you
is going to
having
be
me.
very busy, but we do hope you come back at least after your event, right? If we can get you to come so we can talk about how it went. But
Whatever you want.
I think this will be the
Just let me know.
first time I'm able to start early. I've never started before January on Juneteenth. I think I'll be able to start in July this time. You know
Awesome.
what I'm saying? So I appreciate
You're
you
more
for
than welcome
coming.
to come back. You know where the door
Yes.
is.
You already know where the door is.
Yes, we can't wait to see. We can't wait to be. I've already told the hospital I can't work all week. I'm ready to be everywhere doing
What's
everything,
up?
and I hope y'all ready too. We gonna show y'all how to celebrate us. You feel me?
Right.
Juneteenth Jubilee.
You can
Juneteenth
find us on
Detroit.
Eventbrite.
Yes, Eventbrite. Yes, they can find you on
Facebook,
Eventbrite.
Instagram, Juneteenth
What
Jubilee
they look
Detroit.
up on the little Eventbrite
Yeah.
for them.
JJD Weekend
JJD Weekend.
on Eventbrite.
Juneteenth Jubilee Detroit.
Yep.
Sharia Ayers, Ayers. The sister is, first of all, like she's not alone. Like it's like she rolled with like a clique of educated sisters
And
who
brothers.
and brothers who like do their thing and they love their people.
Yeah,
we have
they
got
do.
to learn how to be one and how to be around each other. It's not a big deal that you got to act right when you're around some of your people. Okay, that's just what it is. We're gonna be sober. We're going to have fun, and we're going to focus on the babies. And I guarantee you we will get through 8 hours outside, all right? So we appreciate y'all. Juneteenth is
Thanks for
coming.
having
Hashtag
me.
Juneteenth is coming. Thank you for being here. Peace out, man. We appreciate
All
y'all.
right. Thank you
All right.
for your patience.
Now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio.
ASD Productions.
7